what actually inspires me to write as I write? What is the source of my inspiration for writing? I actually have an answer. I can give the answer simply and concisely. But I also have a picture in mind. And it is like this. You are out on a walk with a small child, a child who is very inquisitive, very energetic and active. And while you're on the walk, sometimes she runs well ahead of you, hopping, and then also touching things and examining things along the way. Sometimes well ahead of you, and sometimes you actually have to stop to call her back or wait for her. But then, holding something in her hands, she comes and stops in front of you and says, look what I've got. Well, that I think is exactly what I too do when I sit down to write. And like this inquisitive child on a walk, the environment in which I grew up is the source of my excitement, my inspiration as well. It's the conditions that are in that environment, the resources that are around, the challenges that the conditions in the environment present, the people and their resourcefulness, how they have adapted to the environment, their responses to the challenges, their strengths and weaknesses, successes, failures, faith, aspirations, everything that you would say constitute their experiences. And when it is all accrued over years, then it is also their history. But then the history also includes what they are doing now and how they are doing it. Well, it is this the blend of all of these ingredients, these features of life that distill over time into what we know as traditions, folkways, or culture. That I find the gems that inspire me to write. Simply, to me, culture is not a static, bejeweled, calcified treasure that time bequeaths to us. And that all we have to do is to enjoy and adore and treasure and then pass on to generations in the future. No, that isn't how I see culture. That isn't how I think about it. I think culture actually lives inside us and we live by it. Actually, I think it is our mandate to live and be recognized as human beings in a human society. In the sense, culture is essential knowledge. And it is also why Quedo, for example, in Quedo and the Bryson Secret, this is why he too wished he had known all the secrets that the gold weighed. brass man knew. He would have liked to know everything that his friend, the brass man, knew, that would have benefited him not only to get the promised treasure of gold, but the mere fact of his knowing what he ought to have known, I think, would have given him even more satisfaction. And it is also how two boys from two feuding villages, far up north in Ghana, found a powerful weapon of friendship, not in anything, but in the sound of drums, in the crotch drums. So that is a background to my writing. I write for children, for young people, and I derive or take my inspiration from the traditions, from life as it is lived, from the way of life, from the patterns, from what is believed to be sensible and known to be wise and known to be clever and is acceptable and makes people happy and hopeful. It is the culture and traditions that inspire all of the work I have done. I haven't done too many books, but a few that were set in Ghana and set in other parts of Africa as well. So that is the background, and that is it. That is what inspires my writing. Is just in my perception, my belief that culture actually is essential knowledge. It is knowledge that we must have, although we are born with it, we are born into it, it surrounds us, but it is alive and should be alive, and it is something that we work with. It helps us, it makes us what we are. It actually is our identity, as many people would say, that it gives us our identity, it makes us what we are in this world.